It's making history at CECC. And there it is. Both platforms online, and Dip will take it home.
What a game.
Take a victory lap, take a bow, and take the headsets off and start to yell.
Forces a jump with it this time, and they both stand shielding in the gun smoke, but eventually they both back off again. Pops him up with a bomb and finally gets an up air right there.
He was so dangerous, and if it connected, it was likely to stock. So many things can kill Trajan now at 167. They cannot afford another strong hit here. Staying up high, and they go for the downer on the platform, and Kiwi is there.
But not like that. As soon as it gets that PK fire into the grab, a little bit of a scramble situation, knowing that the laser's gonna come out.
It's nared away instead. Arrow doesn't land. Neither of them get to the stage. They get back aired instead. All the way across they go. Bomb in hand. They get side beat as well. And the falling hitbox will lead to the up smash. The dangerous opportunity here. 86% again. Rolls in. This time he gets caught. Sweet spot back air. And that will do it out. Gyro on the opposite side of the stage. Dash attack catches the landing, but they will not find the stock quite yet. Forward air will knock Kiwi away once more. They recover high, and they will get caught by the up air from the right side of center stage. High recovery here from Kiwi. They'll land it onto the hydrant, but they won't be able to connect it. And that's another aerial, and this one will do the trick. A nair instead. Gamer Dog surviving. And we talked about it before. You mentioned touch of death character if they find the opening. Another absorb, back to zero. Gyro is out and in play. Can he get it in his hands though? He wanted it at the last moment, but the won't be able to get the back throw off the mash out. Maybe let him get out instead. Damage being racked up. Linny recovering low here, and he cannot really challenge. Now a grab back throw, and it's one stock apiece.
And we've seen now Tony. Oh! What?
It's Fizz Rain here on Tree. That's defending it proper, and they might be able to make magic happen with 2K. Can they pull off a third? No. Braindead might be able to have a wonderful shot. Thrash doesn't see him. A Rolling Thunder is going to push everyone away from C main, but Braindead is in the...
Welcome in, everybody, to Esports University's coverage of the ECAC Super Elite Week 7. It is our final week. We've managed to make it all the way here. My name is Yanni. I'm joined by my co-caster, Orbital. Orbital, what a matchup that we have to cap off the regular season. It's a fight for first place.
It's a fight for first amongst teams that should be first either way. It is Fisher versus Weaver, and I am more than excited to watch these two teams face off. We talked a lot about them. I mean, if you've been in collegiate, you've seen these teams around. It's no joke. I'm excited to see what they can put down on the Rift today.
Yeah, you mentioned the collegiate play. Weber finishing third in Group A of the Western Conference. So, they've got some hopes here to try to get into the collegiate championship. They're going to have a tough playoff run out there. And meanwhile, Fisher, they're second in their group. They actually just lost a tight game last weekend to Ole Miss. But the crazy part about the Fisher roster, that Ole Miss team, is that this roster shows up for these ECAC games, right? Because they just swap everybody in and out. You never know what you're going to get with this Fisher roster, but finally we actually do know who we're going to get, as they're rocking with a lineup of SimSim, Radar, Ralik, DMK, and Sword Blue. 5 very strong players.
Yep. And on Weber's side, it's Jexor, Zadox, Goku, Ascendi, and Mother Goose. Of course, there we go. There it is. And already on that blue side, we see those bans come out here. This one is pretty much a staple. If you're not running Karma, it's banned away. That's just pretty much stock and standard. Same with the Smolder, that I assume will be coming out here if you don't want to give it to Weber unless you have something in the tank to take it out.
Yeah, I mean, that champion is getting kneecapped finally, but he is just running over everybody. And the problem is you just leave him around for so long. I mean, he's still up on the board if they want to take him. So, maybe we will see a Smolder come out. Way getting knocked off there. I really like that ban. That champion is super annoying to deal with.
And I appreciate it, right? The Hui is a very strong mid to late game team fighter, especially if you're trying to build into that front to back. I think it's appropriate. Looking at the Kaisa and Maokai ban outs, Maokai, of course, being that flex, turning between, if you really still want to run it inside the jungle, inside the top, most likely in that support, you just don't want to deal with it. This leaves open the Varus, which I think is more than appropriate, right? Left up in the ADC role, might as well.
Yeah. As well, go for it. It's a nice, safe AD carry that Sendy will be able to have a good time on and make their impact known. And I'm curious what Fisher is going to pull out, because, and it looks like you see that Smolder getting hovered and locked in. DMK has really shown up in a lot of these games lately. It feels like every time I've watched him play, he's always had some sort of impact. He struggled against Shogo last week, but generally everybody does. But I mean, we saw him in some NECC play, and he was lighting the world on fire on Ashe. So we'll see how that shakes out for him, as they're going to also grab a Wukong for themselves.
And this reels into the other side as well. Weber also looking to do the exact same, right? If you're looking for challenges inside of the jungle, the Wukong being a very nice engager on that level 6. You're looking at the Viego for Zadox. Zadox is well known as an aggressive jungler, loves making those plays, loves being kind of that carry threat. With Goku as well in that mid lane, another all-star member that has a storied history of their own. This is starting to break into who actually wants to get mid lane open, because we're seeing the match of the supports, the ADCs, and the jungle. Fisher not wanting to give really too much away here in the first half.
Yeah, I am curious how the second round of bans go, because, Ralik is a pretty solid mid laner himself. He's been around the block. He's played for Conviction. He's played for, CCG Futures. So if you're in the tier 3 scene, you've seen this guy around. He's going up against the guy that's literally gone to Worlds, right? That is a tall task. Goku had a fantastic career in CB LOL. I mean, there's not too much more you could say. He's won a championship over there. I am surprised that more bans aren't going his way. You're seeing these bans go to Jexor's way up in the top lane, right? So we'll see what Fisher is going to go with. They will go with the Talia, so good roam potential here for Raleigh.
And this also surprises me, right? We are leaning into the fact that Goku is quite strong and can come out with some very interesting pickups here. Ralik, of course, opting for the blind pick, and you actually pick LeBlanc into it. So Goku actually leaning into that kind of, okay, you want to go to Talia, I'm going to show you that champion will mean very little. If this Udyr is also locked in for Jexor, this allows for that flexibility of either tank, damage, and everything in between. Of course, Sim, this is why Fisher did this. They are looking for that counter pick matchup. And against the Udyr, I mean, there are some that are off the table. You're looking at the Renekton and all. Mordekaiser being hovered, this... I haven't seen a Mordekaiser in competitive in an extremely okay.
Well, I saw one picked up against, I think it was picked up against Winthrop, and it didn't go so well. It was really, really bad. But I am curious to see how it is into an Udyr, because one of Udyr's hallmarks is that he's able to run circles around you, but you know, your range being very restricted once you go into the Death Realm. The Mordekaiser getting stats, that's going to be really important. Wendell, I must say, I'm a little confused about the lock-in for Goku going to LeBlanc. You W forward onto the Legos, you're getting stunned.
Yeah, there's this is why I love the fact that you highlighted this earlier. Goku being someone that has a high caliber mechanical level, and Raleigh kind of stepping up to that challenge, because this is I like to call it, as a mid lane player myself, an ego pick. You know this is not technically a matchup that you are supposed to win on paper. You know that this Aaliyah has some skills in there that are going to cause you problems. At the same time, there are options. If you outplay, if you know those Legos are coming out, if you know those stones are coming out, you can dodge around it, you can make a massive play out of it, and you can show off that the Talia is no match for the dashing sorceress.
Well, Fisher College and Raleigh trying to throw stones at the glass house known as Weber, as we are underway, as they're just going, everybody trying to chase down this Varus early, but only a ward in the Tri-Brush for right now. We'll see Goku get the exchange ward down.
No reason to push further, right? And
not.
here's the thing from Fisher's side. I'm actually a little bit curious, right? And I love this answer, right? If we do get Radar moving up into this top side to go for the red buff, which it should happen, in for a nasty surprise. But for Fisher's side, I am a little bit worried. Wukong is going to go in. No one's really going to be able to follow, and that's what scares me, right? You look down the line, the Wukong, only one that's really going to dive. Everyone else going to try and peel back. So a lot of questions on my mind as this invade is still occurring.
I have so many questions on my mind, too. Like, what's going to happen first? If Raleigh missteps or anything like that, it could be disaster, but this means that Goku will be a little late getting back to lane and will get spotted out.
Oh, it's spotted.
Yeah, so they don't know if it's just Goku or not. The chickens have been started by Zadox.
Yeah.
Do they know? Is the really big question here.
Well, so there are two ways of thought, right? You have to identify this. If you are Sim on the top side, you'll have to identify the fact, but no, it's actually shown. Oh, you're challenging. Oh, my God.
Oh, it gets taken by Radar, though, and now Zadox can find himself in a bad spot. Talia's on the way up as well, and Simpson flash over the wall. Zadox, I don't know if he's going to be able to find a way out of here. He burns the ghost out of the Mordekaiser at the very least, but
oh no,
one of these guys is going to be picking up a kill. Is the
oh my God.
Okay, so Radar picks that up.
All right, you asked the question, Yanni. Do they know? I think they know. I think they know. There were some big question marks there, but man, that couldn't have gone more disastrous, right? In theory, it was a gamble. It was the right idea. If you wanted to try and snipe it away, Radar might have had some trouble, but in that essence, you now set yourself so far behind. Viego is one of those champions that you do need to get ahead. You do need to have a solid start, or you're not going to enjoy this early to mid game. You are a champion that wants to scale up, wants to be a bully. Not only that, you now given one of the premier early to mid game champions on the other side on Radar's Wukong that loves to gank, wants to hit that level 6 and start assisting their laners and pressure all over the map.
And remember, Radar's playing out of position here. Normally a mid laner has played plenty of jungle, though. You know, this Fisher roster, they like to swap things around a little bit, but you know, maybe that was just Zadox having the overconfidence. Like, I'm a jungle main, this guy isn't. We're just going to walk in and do whatever we want. And as soon as Radar was able to claim that red buff, it felt like it was very ill-fated.
And in this moment, Zadox has to do damage control, right? Rest of the lanes are going to have to sit there, and mid lane, of course, Goku has been doing okay and managing that 22-20, which I think is appropriate. Jexor on the top side, though, you're hoping to have a really good time. This Mordekaiser came out of left field. You know you're going to be kind of left on your own island, so at this point, for Weber, you're actually wondering, where's the Wukong exactly? You're going to try and start tracking the enemy jungler who got that first blood, was able to kind of situate themselves with the Doran's Blade and have that early damage spike.
Yeah, and that Doran's Blade, obviously you mentioned doing wonders, and now you can see Radar wants to get into this bottom side jungle. See if Turnabout is fair play. Radar will hit the plant, will spot out Zadox. Nobody's really on a move yet, but here comes the bottom lane of Weber finally. Zadox will be able to smite the buff away. Goku unable to move, so that means Radar will be able to just walk away.
And nothing lost, right? Not your life loss. However, topside, the damage is in a different box, right?
Wait a minute.
Jexor enjoying themselves, but
Mother Goose in a little bit of trouble. The Q hits the Viego. We'll see Sendy over the wall, dealing a lot of damage. Goku's going to go in, trying to blow up a member. Gets exhausted, but Sendy gets the kill anyway. That's Radar.
No!
Trying to find a way to escape. DMK on the other side of the wall. Trying to get a kill on the Mother Goose, but they can't. Rollick.
Oh my god!
And Mother Goose, can they survive? They do! It's all Weber early on in the first fight.
Remember what I was saying about the Viego wanting a good start? Oh, listen, it didn't end up there, but you just gave your lanes such an expressive lead right now. Sendy picking up 2 and 2 assists. The fact that Mother Goose didn't go down. Weber lost no one, and it is such an impressive battle. I think it was one that Fisher were expecting to hold on to. They had the rotate, right? Swordblue and DMK were there first, and yet they could not finish off any of those kills. Difficult time for them. Gold lead heavily in favor of Weber. I believe I was able to purchase. Yeah, Sendy able to spend that gold now and utilize it in lane immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a difference in how strong the AD carries are, right? Sendy was over the wall dealing so much damage with the hail of arrows, right? It does a lot of damage at rank 1. So it's just really good stuff. A really well-picked fight out of Weber. They're going to get all the grubs on top of it, too. They're not even giving up a dragon for it.
This is... After what occurred in the earlier stages, this is by far the best situation Weber could have asked for, right? When you lose your jungler, it feels bad. You're able to bounce back. Now you're able to take control. And for Fisher, you're a team that does kind of want to scale up, right? You want DMK to really have that high scaling impact that a Smolder wants to have. But this acceleration now puts a little bit of pressure on you. I do expect Radar to start looking towards that bot lane, start trying to help out this DMK to get a good laning phase, because I expect Sendy, Mother Goose, to start getting in the face of the Fisher bottom lane.
Yeah, we'll see. Radar will need to hit level 6 in order to make an impact quickly. Meanwhile, Zadox is here on the bottom lane. Swordblue is very slow, tries to hop back to DMK. DMK gets hooked. He let DMK get hooked, and they're all on top of him. They're going to take him out. They're going to take out the Braum for good measure. Double kill for Sendy. Radar, luckily still alive for right now. Flashing forward, and Sendy finishes him off. It's a triple kill.
It's a small consolation prize that the shutdown went to DMK, but my god, Sendy. You know, I mentioned that, yes, I wanted a little bit of bullying to the bots. I didn't think it was going to be that finite, right? There was no way DMK and Swordblue could get away, and now Zadox allowed to pick things up. Weber starting to accelerate the pace of this game very, very nicely, and Goku and Ralik might just be on the wings watching.
This could be a problem for the side of Weber. Zadox is forced to flash away. That means Mother Goose is able to walk it out. So Fisher just taking L's all across the map. It is not looking so hot. But again, you talk about the shutdown that DMK got there. DMK has been really a rock for Fisher and has done pretty well in his recent games of AD carry. You saw for a second there, he's down about 1,000 gold already. Obviously, you know, scale up with Smolder and win, but, you know, Weber, they are very acutely aware of that strategy.
That strategy is one that's known forever, right? Once you get past, at this point, I think it's like a 35-40 minute mark for DMK, then you're going to start hitting, then you're going to start being a damage threat. Here's the problem. Mother Goose and Sendy, my personal take on how to deal with the Smolder, land a hook, gets EC, right? Very immobile. Yes, you have the Ghost and the Flash. You're still pretty immobile if you are just trying to run away. So as long as Mother Goose and Sendy are willing to expend some abilities, expend that go in, maybe a little bit of HP bars, I feel like they should have a pretty concrete hold on DMK's life unless these lanes start to get rolling for Fisher, unless we start seeing kills fed into DMK's pockets.
Yeah, and, you know, speaking of the lanes getting rolling, right, Rollick hasn't made a move yet, is now level 7, does have the Weaver's Wall to be able to do something, but they're going to need to try to figure something out. Smolder's a hard lane to gank for. It's not like there's a whole lot of power there, even after he hit 6.
And in that same vein, I mean, yeah, Goku in this mid lane, at this point, we were wondering, you know, why is this LeBlanc pick picked up? You and I both questioned it. Hey, you're picking it into a Talia. I think one of the thoughts is, yes, it's a skill expression. The other side is just try and keep Rollick inside of this lane, right? Don't allow him to farm up early. No.
Oh no, Sim.
Oh.
Sim dead.
I wasn't watching, Yanni. I feel so bad. Like it was just a slow burn.
Nah, it's all good. He just kicks the tin can down the road, and Jexor, credit to him. That means everybody's winning now. We weren't sure. We were like, okay, early on, Sim had a CS lead, but now everybody on Weber is just winning. It is just all them. They've got the W's in the chat right now. What a hook! They say send it, as Sendy is able to deal a lot of damage to make sure that Mother Goose is the one that gets the kill.
And we've talked about this, right? Anyone that not Rollick as well. Okay, just a chunk. We talked about this though. You and I have been in collegiate. Anyone that's watched Fisher, some people have concerns watching them, right? Which Fisher is going to show up? Is it a Fisher that is strong, is confident in their play, and is able to take control of the game? Or is it a Fisher that may wane and wan throughout the entire series? Of course, this is just game one. Granted, Weaver had thrown some amazing curveballs in their face, so maybe this isn't the best to go on, but I'm wholly impressed by what Weaver are throwing down right now. They look very strong. They look very calculated. And even in this is going to be a change.
Yeah, Sendy is in so much trouble. Knocked up, exhausted, and is going to go down. They're going to give that one over to DMK. Yep. Shut down for him. He's got 2 shutdowns now. As Goku just wins the 1v1 against Rollick.
Yeah, and this is the difference, right? Fisher are playing to catch up. Weaver are playing to win. Yeah, Death Realm, I mean, this is going to be a long burn fight. Yeah,
we'll see if they're able to close out on any kills here. Still has that shield available if he wants, which he will pop, but Jexor is just, can't really do too much for him. He is going to go back in. He is trying to take this fight. He's dodged on the claw. He's getting lower on HP, but so is Mordekaiser. And Mordekaiser falls again.
Lane to lane, we are watching exemplary individual skill. Jexor walking around the Mordekaiser abilities, making sure that area of effect does not affect them, waiting it out, baiting it out in the mid lane. Goku giving a lot of handles. Remember, that kill on the bot side was only on Sendy. Remember how much they expended. Relic now on the top side trying to get a revenge kill.
Yeah, I don't know if Jexor's going to be able to find his way out of this. He's taking a lot of damage. Matching TPs come out, though. So Goku's going to land first. Nice sidestep. Knock off. Oh, Goku, don't do it to him. Puts on the fancy feet there, but Rollick's life flashed before his eyes.
This game is getting way too breakneck for what should be happening, right? Fisher want a slower pace game. They do not want this game to accelerate, and yet Weaver are forcing them to. Take a look. This is another invade by Zadox.
Yeah, I mean, this game's going at 1,000 miles an hour right now, Orbitals. We have a teleport coming down. Mother Goose find himself in a little bit of trouble. One more auto attack. He does get stunned up. You saw that Chains of Corruption miss prior, and that means that Mother Goose will fall.
And that's actually big for Fisher, punishing this aggressive play, because in the mid lane, Goku has just been wailing away on this tower. First brick goes their way.
Rubs.
Yeah, and now Radar looking for this dragon now has to run on their life.
Oh, he's in so much trouble here. The chains are out too. Good seismic shove, but it's not going to do enough to take down Zadox. Goku gets kill number 3.
Again, Fisher trying to pump the brakes as hard as they can. They got the kill on the bottom side, and they were like, yes, we got it, we're good. Maybe we can set up for Dragon. Weaver are constantly drawing attention of Fisher every which way. Whichever direction it goes, it's just never in their favor. So Fisher, desperation mode is fully going on right now. Weaver, they're chilling. This breakneck pace, they're vibing to fog throughout the road right now. They are zooming at 80 and they don't care.
Oh yeah, they have the Eurobeat in their car turned up to 50 on their radio, windows down, sunroof open, just 90 miles an hour. Even look, Mother Goose still going 90 miles an hour. Goku waiting over the wall, waiting for those cooldowns to burst out DMK. You can see it wasn't even a full combo, and it did so much.
Well, you didn't have to, right? Goku actually got the flash out of DMK, and that's perfect. Now you give Sendy that advantage in lane again, because Sendy is going to have that value. Yeah, you're just going to look. Now you got to run even further, but it's just this pressure, right? DMK was the big shining star, and now you don't have that value anymore. Well,
Goku could find himself in trouble, gets knocked up there by the Wukong. Will be able to distortion back away, but looks like he's a little trapped here. Here comes the Udyr trying to disrupt here, trying to save him. Looks like it's working now. Zadox is here. So is Mother Goose. Rollick gets targeted. Flash over the wall, still alive for right now. Backside of the fight, Radar gets blown up, and Zadox, undeterred through the exhaust, manages to get the kill. And now Sword Blue's going to be the next target. He gets rooted up. He will be able to flash over the wall to survive. But again, it's just Weber continuing to take every single fight.
You ever seen someone get lapped before? Like, this is getting lapped about 3 times
there's
over,
a fight
right?
going on
Like
up there. Hold on, Sword Blue ignited down to about half HP. Zadox also in the area.
Oh, do it, Sendy.
Here comes
Do it, Sendy. Do
Days of
it.
Corruption lands. Pulled into the Death Realm is Nautilus. So Mother Goose, the Goose might be cooked for right now, and it is. Coming out of the Death Realm with the extra stats, but I'm not sure if that's quite going to help you there when you've got Brawl passive thanks to Zadox Mom coming through, but it doesn't deal enough damage. Still wanting this fight.
Oh, the
Zadox.
stun.
Great stun on DMK. It's a double kill for Zadox, but he dies on the other side of it. Not much found from the seismic shove, and with Weber, it's on site in these fights.
It's because they can, right? Every single champion of theirs is now unlocked to fight. We saw how long some of these fights are going on. It's because Fisher has not been allowed to farm. Take a look down their itemization, right? They're sitting on components right now. Vrolic is sitting on components. Inside the jungle, we're sitting on components for Wukong. Like, some of these champions are just not, it's still going.
Fight forever. Dun, 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 dun. That's just,
It's
that's
just
just what it
never
is. I mean,
Yeah.
Orbital, look at this gold disparity right now.
Yeah.
Is this something that a Smolder can dig you out of?
No. I will say this. Someone's going to yell at me in the back room. I say no. There is no way
I'm gonna yell at
unless
you in the back
Weber...
room.
Yeah, like, I'm going to say this with full confidence, especially since I know Weber and some of these players, like, they're from this deficit, unless Weber walk in one by one and feed the 3 current bounties over to DMK's life and then wait another 5 minutes, I really don't think Fisher can actually dig them out with DMK alone. Where it actually comes out is I think Sim, Radar, and Vrolic need to start helping out a little bit, grouping up, really playing as a squad. They're right now getting tugged into individual fights. Their strength is when they can kind of prep themselves for this battle, use that Weaver's wall to adjust the rest of Weaver. And I think that's where it comes from. In DMK alone, I don't think so. The rest of the team has got to step up.
He only has 106 stacks at the 16-minute mark. That's pretty rough. There's not a whole lot you can do. Sim, less than 100 CS too, down 30 CS in the top lane, down a kill as well. I mean, Jexor got so many plates. I mean, this is why this game has spiraled out of control. Fisher do need to find some way to stop the bleeding, because if they can, Smolder might be able to get the job done with a little bit of help from the friends. Rift Herald looks like it's been started up by the side of Weber, and they will be able to take it down. So we'll see if Twitch chat makes an appearance, and if Zadox has his driver's license.
I think Zadox does. I mean, 4-2 and 7. If you don't decide to go driving, I would be very, very surprised. The other side is Sendy. 3 items fully completed, 131 CS, and dominating. Or 2, sorry. Boots are technically an item to me. In my opinion.
I mean, listen, at least Magic Pen boots are. I agree with that. Magic Pen boots are actually a core. It's so good, right? That's why they build it every
It's
game.
very powerful.
But
It's very, very powerful. Oh, no.
1v1 here. Goku will land the first chain. And does have enough room to be able to go over the wall. So this is kind of rough. Radar is here. And the second distortion should be able to get him out. Oh, slow from Sword Blue. Flash distortion. Can you land any more? It looks like Fisher has decided we can't pursue this any further because of the pressure elsewhere. Rift Herald getting used on the bottom side of the map here as well.
Yep. Every time we watch this game from now on, this is all you have to watch. If someone's making a decoy play on one side, there is another 1 to 2 plays on another side of the map. This will continue every single time. Twitch chat, are we going to see
Twitch
it? There it is!
There we go! I thought Zadox wasn't going to do it.
Oh, wow, okay.
There's a fight in the mid lane here. Mother Goose in a lot of trouble.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's a 2-item Sendy, and he's rifling away. He's got a double kill for right now, making a triple kill. Next target going to be DMK, who flashes over the wall and dies. It's a quadra kill, and everybody is gone. It's an ace for Weber.
What did I say, right? Listen, when one play happens on the side of the map, there's something else going on in Fisher. That was a last-ditch effort fight. I understand where you're coming from. I respect it. It was a 4v3. The problem is Sendy and Goku have a majority share of the gold. Nasty 3v4 from Weaver's carries. So impressive, and this is why they are currently winning this game. From minute 3, they have not slowed down. Ever since Zadox died inside of the jungle, said, screw it. We are avenging our jungler and taking this game.
Turns out, second item Terminus still lives up to its name, because it looks like it is the end for Fisher here in game 1, as Weber is just If you could be any more in the driver's, they're the pilots of this plane right now. They're not even in the driver's seat. They're flying. They are cruising at an altitude of 10,000 feet in the air. It's pre-20 minutes too. Soul Point now on top of it. The question is, Orbital, are they going to try for Baron, or are they just going to say, you know what, we're fine with the status quo. Let's focus another lane.
It's either you die slowly or die quickly. Like, those are your two options right now. I hate saying that, and to me, I give respect. You know, that mid lane fight looked like they were just like, yo, let's send it, let's do whatever we can. I appreciate that. Do it again, right? Go for the steal, go for the craziness. You know things really can only get worse from here. Unless, again, Weaver do something completely out of the ordinary. Unless they give themselves over and, I mean, try and let themselves die. Honestly, it just doesn't look like it. Like this, right? Like this. This is ridiculous right now. Jexor has not taken a lick of damage.
Yeah, the good news is Rollick does manage to survive. Goku could find himself in a little bit of trouble. Mother Goose is here to try to turn it. Big knock-up. Mom coming through. It looks like Goku blows him up and is still alive somehow. Will finally... No, he just lived that entire time. That's crazy. Yeah. I thought he just died because he just disappeared, but he just hit all the W's.
That was welcome to LeBlanc clones. If you have not played against LeBlanc in forever, you get tripped up learning when they distort, whenever they go back. It is a problem. Meanwhile, in this game, while that fight is going, you don't normally see his Baron being taken, while an inhibitor is being taken as well. Weaver are literally doing everything and then some in the...
Well, Jexer will not be able to get this quite yet, although he does have Baroned up minions if he wants to escort them in. Meanwhile, the rest of Weaver are going to head to the top side, take out the top inner turret. Zadox and Mother Goose looking to lead the charge. Goku does have teleport available. It's only a matter of time as Fisher almost completely choked out of this game. The referee has not stopped the fight quite yet, though. What a game. 17k gold lead here for the side of Weaver. It is just absolutely one of the cleanest games I've seen from a team at this level in quite some time, especially against the guys over on Fisher, right? They are high quality players. Orbital and I talked about it in the pregame. These guys have been around quite some time, have won their fair share of trophies in the collegiate space, and they're just getting absolutely dominated right now. We'll see if they're able to hold the line or if there's anything that they can do to get some confidence back here as Weaver is looking to shove in. They will be able to take out the bottom inhibitor as for right now, but Radar in the top side against Jexor, and it's a 4-level difference, by the way. Rollick almost getting completely bursted out there.
Listen, this game was too hard on me. Weaver literally just crashed my internet pretty hard. Like, that was... They are playing at such an exceptional pace. They could end with only one inhibitor. They want everything on the map right now. This is the final stand for Fisher.
Their upload speed was just a little too fast for you, my friend, because they are just, speed run League of Legends any percent right now, as there's only one Nexus turret left standing. Members of Fisher are huddling around it like a campfire. Radar on the back line, looking to knock up 3, but he gets blown up immediately. Meanwhile, Swordblue's the one that gets rated up. Mom comes through, but doesn't do enough damage as the Mordekaiser will fall. DMK trying to kite this out, but doesn't have an execute or anything to try to stay alive, and that should do it as the Nexus will fall. Far too many minions, and Weaver just come in and clean up Fisher in game 1.
I hope my internet holds strong, because that was a game of Weaver knowing how to push their leads. Like, that early fight inside of the jungle, Zadox, we saw what they were trying to do, right? Get a little bit aggressive, put the Wukong behind, and then snowball out from there. When it didn't work, rest of Weaver said, okay, we got to pick up the slack. Let's start going. Sendy in the bottom lane. We were talking about, Goku in the mid lane and Zadox being some of the stars here. Sendy popped off. A little bit of help from the rest of the team, and then Mother Goose and Sendy just ran the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that you could say that Fisher needs to improve on, but really it was from top to bottom, right? Since the start of the game, that fight that occurred in the river, Weaver just never let off the gas pedal. It's just a really tough time for Roman. That's a fight that Fisher engaged themselves. If there's one thing that I want to see, I need to see Rollick show a little bit more. I mean, This guy, I saw one Weaver's wall, maybe two this entire game. I mean, Goku really kept him down. And this is something, Orbital, that we expected. Rollick is going to have to step up here and try to figure something out for game 2. And as a matter of fact, so is Radar. We know that Radar is out of position in this game technically, but, Zadox just kind of got the better of him at every single corner and was there first for every play.
I think a lot of that does go back to what you pointed out, right? That first initial fight that Fisher decided to go for, that was the turning point. And I actually put a lot of this more on Weaver's excellent execution of taking that lead and going instead of Fisher actually collapsing under the weight. I honestly just think Fisher, their comp was not built to withstand such a heavy onslaught from the early game. They're good in terms of being able to build their blocks up. They were able, if everything was even, they could build their way up towards that mid game and then let DMK, Rollick really show off. They were just never given that opportunity. And honestly, really big shout out to Weaver for that.
Yeah, huge shout outs and plaudits to them. But this is a 3-game series, so we're going to take a very short break. And when we return, we will come back and we will show you the game 2 draft between Weaver and Fisher. Don't go anywhere because this is a heavyweight matchup. Welcome back, everybody, to ECAC Super Elite Week 7 for League of Legends. Weber and Fisher going at it head to head. And they were so crazy that last game, Orbital. They're just so far ahead, just absolutely stomped Fisher into the dirt. It was a really, really rough showing for them. They had a team that had some late game scaling to it, but couldn't get it online. We'll see how their fortunes change. And the first thing is, they're swapping sides here.
They are swapping, and that really changes some aspects, right? We saw in R5 Mordekaiser come out, which obviously we didn't really get to see a whole lot on the top side because our entire vision was dominated by this bot lane. The first pick Varus against that counter pick Smolder. It was a bottom lane smorgasbord, and then it was just chaos all around. So I'm excited to see what champions come out here, if there are specific counter picks in that bottom lane, if there's more focus emphasized inside of those ADCs instead of just, hey, let's grab Varus and Smolder.
Yeah, they were serving dragon for dinner, and Weber took advantage of that. It's on the sushi plate and everything. I'm sure you'd enjoy some Smolder sushi. No?
Hey, yeah. I don't know if I'd actually like dragon. I hear the meat's kind of tough, but we'll see. Maybe in the future, I'll give it a shot if it ever enters into my local area.
Yeah. So, all right. A lot of things went wrong for Fisher. What do you think was the number one thing that went wrong, and how are they going to be able to correct it going into game 2?
All right, so I think the entire thing hinged, and I said it at the end of game 1 kind of post, is I think they just chose a bad fight, and that was really it. This is one of those games that you lose one fight, everything else crumbles afterwards. That one fight where you thought that you could take an early game fight with Smolder about half mana, Braum already in the front, and you do not have a very strong damage output. It just led to chaos, and after that, unfortunately, the kills went the way of Sendy. From there, you can start seeing really that ball. It was really the very definition of snowball, and if the side of Fisher want to play another mid to late game composition like that, I don't think they're allowed the option of taking a risky fight like that, because Weber right now seemed to have a good answer.
Yeah, it felt like everybody on Weber too were just equally strong no matter what happened. Sendy, obviously you mentioned it, getting very far ahead. And it was the early fights that sunk Fisher, especially that early jungle pathing. What happened over there? Listen, I like the idea, but once Radar did not land the smite onto the red buff, it was over because, yeah, sure, you had your level advantage for half of a second, and now you're even on levels. Oh, yeah, plus your opponent's got a red buff. I'd imagine that Fisher's early game will go much better if A, their jungle skirmish at level 1 goes a little bit better, or B, they just don't have one at all.
That was one of those. I think it was actually Zadox that came around and missed that smite, and it was just disaster from there. And then I agree, it was just a fall down on the side of Radar. After that, it was just you were pathing okay, but you maybe let it get to your head. So now on the blue side, Fisher, I'm very curious, right? You opted for Mordekaiser on the top side as your big all-important synergy factor. It didn't really have impact. Now you get first pick on the entire side. ADCs were picked up last time. Let's see if that's the same here. And for Fisher, I actually really want to see a targeted ban either at that bottom lane into Sendy. I mean, even I know Varus is not appropriate, I think, as a ban. It's just you can work around it at points. I would like to see some respect handed there.
It's certainly a good ban, but it's also something that's very first pickable. That's something that DMK can certainly play. So I am interested in what direction they're going to go in. So far, Fisher has decided their bans are going to stay exactly the same. And I know why you're oohing, as that Varus was banned away by Weber. Goes to the fact that is a first pickable champion.
And I am interested to see if this is actually going to take the space of that Smolder, or if you're actually going... Yeah, so it is taking the space of the Smolder, and I think this is actually a little bit of bait. If Fisher actually opt for that Smolder once again, I think it's bait. I really do think it's bait. At this point, we have multiple contingency plans. You need to go for something a bit more flexible. I like the Maokai here. This was banned out in game number 1. Very appropriate. You go ahead, flex it out. Weber now have to kind of blind pick their way through these next 2.
And if I'm Weber, I am saying that, yep, this is a Maokai jungle. Sure, you could put Sword Blue with the Maokai, but after what happened in game 1 there with Radar, I would just be on full confidence that this guy is going to play a dog jungler, for lack of a better term. While on the other side, Ashe and Lee Sin. Ashe, as we know, very, very high priority champion because it can go anywhere in the bot lane. And I wonder, it looks like we will see our first taste of Kog'Maw ever since the buffs that he got.
Oh yeah, the buffs I feel make everyone a little bit too happy, but at the same time, this is another champion for Fisher that I'm a little bit scared about, right? It needs to scale a little bit more into that mid to late. You have the shred. You have the ability to kind of hard stop anyone in your way. With that shred, you can start melting through them, but if Weber are allowed to get in your face once again, it's going to be a problem. The Braum also helping out, just denying a lot of that advantage. And now you go right back to the same game that we had in game number 1 in the ban phase. Top lane going to start getting taken away. Jexor and Simsim both didn't have super impact, still had a lot of value in their own way.
Yeah, well, we'll see what ends up happening. I like the Udyr ban here because Weber would have first opportunity to go pick that up if they wanted, but clearly just focusing on the top lanes here. Simsim not going to be able to do too much.
PTSD coming in here.
This is a very good ban. This is what Shibi, our good friend, would call a trauma ban for sure, but this does mean that Goku has an entire wide array of mid laners to go to, and Ahri is one that has been gaining a lot of popularity. In fact, Jensen played her a little earlier in LCS.
And the response coming out as Tristana, these players are moving pretty quickly through this phase. And I like that Tristana in the mid lane, a little bit indexing into the AD factor, but I think it's still appropriate. Now that Jack's blind pick on the top side, Weber, you can show off a little bit. Yeah, this was banned in game number 1. Throw down. You know, Jexor won the first round of fights, even with that Udyr. Now you got an even better one. If this is not a Flash Ghost Darius, I'm going to be very, very sad.
Yeah, I don't want it if it ain't Flash Ghost Darius, right? Yeah. This is a really awesome draft that both teams have put together here. Yep. But again, just matters, can Fisher take it to the late game, right? Shogo has said that Kog'Maw isn't a champion that you need to wait for 6 items, right? He spikes on 2 items and 3 items and 4 items, and that people should be fighting a little bit more in the mid game with him. So I wonder if Fisher will subscribe to that theory. We'll see, right? They have the nice power out of the Tristana. Their siege potential is really, really strong. So long as things don't go really, really wrong for them like they did in game 1, I think they'll be in a pretty good spot.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Yanni, because you said it. The crutch is, it doesn't happen like game 1. Weber, I'm pretty sure, can do the same thing as game number 1, right?
Absolutely, they can.
Yeah, and it's just terrifying to me. And I am surprised as well. Dragonman Kim did not opt for the cleanse. I personally am a complete weakling in Scaredy Cat in the bot lane. Looking at an Ashe, an Ahri, and a Braum, I would have absolutely ran cleanse. Like, I would have hardcore just locked that in, been like, I don't want to do anything. But I am wholly surprised. DMK is saying, hey, that last game, that was just a mishap, right? And maybe Fisher are saying the same. Game 1, we had one bad moment, and it just snowballed out of control. We aren't going to let that happen again. If that's their mindset going in, I appreciate it. That is the best mental reset that you could ever ask for, which is why they're going for this style a little bit more aggressive in those summoner spells.
I actually kind of like the Ghost on DMK here, mostly because the CCs are all skill shots, right? They're not point and clicks. The one really interesting thing when it comes to summoners is take a look at this. Jax has Ignite in the top lane. Simsim is looking to get solo kills onto Jexor. Look at that. He's even got a 3 gold lead right now. I mean, this game may as well be over.
I mean, listen, fish are fish, right, all day long, but this is because you know Jexor is most likely running an aggressive summoner set as well. Like, you can't go TP, you're going to lose out on that. So I love that, right? Simsim stepping up to the challenge as the Grandmaster should and not letting up in any way. I'm very curious to watch that top side because these are 2 champions that also, I think, hold a lot more value come the mid-game, right? We saw the Udyr and the Mordekaiser not really have anything to do with the team, just kind of did their own thing. These 2, I think, actually want to get into the mix a bit more and snowball off of those teamfight kills.
One thing that we didn't really talk about is you saw for just a brief moment there, the Ashe stun off of the Braum passive. Ashe Braum is a really oppressive lane. So while Fisher seems to be in firm control right now, that may not be the case moving forward. It's really important that their laners get off to really good starts. And it looks like Ralik should be able to against Goku. You take a look at the health bars real quick. But up in the top lane, as long as your Jax is, even keel at the very least, you'll be in a really good spot. and that'll mean that Radar's opened up to do a lot.
Not only that, though, you're walking over that ward, so even though Radar is enabled into some of these opportunities, you are still spotted out in some of those scenarios. Zadox, I think, got the early, or no, that was actually Goku that dropped the early ward down by those Raptors and gave themselves a little bit of space. So how much time are you actually going to burn here, right? Goku slowly holding up the lane, but that's a jump in.
Oh, he put the bomb on the wrong target, which means Goku will be able to survive without burning a summoner spell. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Mother Goose in a little bit of trouble, hooked back in. Bio Arcane Barrage from DMK, trying to do as much damage as possible, but now it's Sendy turning it around, slowing him up with that powered Q. Sword Blue could find himself in a little bit of trouble, but Weaver bot lane punching back a little.
Honestly, big win for the side of Weaver. I think, you know, with the ADCs now almost even in the HP department, I think that's a very well played fight. Mother Goose was not in a good position, so this is actually prime, but the junglers are now getting in on it 1v1.
Yeah, this is not a 1v1 I like for Radar, especially the fact that he's down a level right now. This is getting chased down by Zadox. The Q lands. It's going to be first blood. He's going to be able to hop over the wall, but a good counter-strike. Following it up is Ralik looking for Zadox. Can't quite get him. And then oh my god, look at all the damage.
Oh my god!
It's going to be a triple kill for Zadox. The bleed from Jexor helping out. It's a double kill for DMK on the bottom side, though.
I listen, that was a little bit of chaos everywhere, but I love it. Zadox, okay, I'm sorry, I'm a Zadox fanboy by heart. Zadox is someone that I've watched over the years just be so good in multiple scenarios and can very much hardcore carry the game on their own, so the Lee Sin makes me very happy. And that already turns this upper side of the map on Fisher into a very difficult situation. That Lee Sin can now roam outwards. However, as you rightly pointed out, double kill down to the bot side, the most optimal double kill, right? DMK picking up 2 on a Kog'Maw that we said we want to see those items come through. So right now, both Weaver and Fisher have their strong points that I expect they are going to start forcing to try and get further ahead.
You did say one thing, though, Orbital, is that can Weaver just do what they did in Game 1 here in Game 2? And with Zadox with the Warhammer plus the pickaxe, you absolutely can just do the same thing. So we'll see if they're able to keep the tempo up here, because if they do get into another down and dirty fight that they like, they could just pull away here in Game 2.
The problem is I don't think Fisher are actually going to want to go into those fights right now, right? You know Zadox is strong, so why would you actually opt into some of these crazy fights that might give the lane opponent some freedom, right? This is the appropriate call. Fisher walking away from this dragon, realizing that Zadox's power and respecting it is there. Even the bottom lane, DMK and Sword Blue trying to hold this wave underneath their own tower so this gank doesn't actually fire off as strong.
Yeah, just trying to break the freeze up a little bit here, which I really like, as Radar is not really able to do too much, and your laners don't need your help at this point, right? So Zadox can go wherever he pleases. He's cosplaying Dr. Mundo right now.
Walk where you please, do what you please, and at this point, it's called be slow, be steady, don't go too crazy in the mid or top.
Master's Might,
different story though.
Getting used. Counter Strike here. The apprehend as well. The stun goes down. Jexor, can he get 5 stacks? Misses the Q on the flash, which means that Sim is alive for now.
No, that was much closer. I think if Sim actually had flash, that would have been a difference. We didn't even notice that Sim had lost flash in that entire game. Well, actually, we did in that triple. But rightly now having to back away. You cannot stay up here any longer. You expended most of your abilities. You're about half health. And a 3-0 as Zadox is going to be roaming on your face. So it leaves this Grubs take for the Lee Sin.
Yep, we're seeing Radar come down near the mid lane here, looking to make a play onto the Sari, and they're going to leap in on her as well, trying to Spirit Rush away. Can you get one more shot off? Goku will survive. The Grubs will go to Weaver. Just nothing going right for Fisher.
I love the fact that Jexor ate that right in front of Goku, right? Like, yeah, Goku was going to recall. I get that. But it's just very funny watching someone that's like 20% HP try and do that. Oh, no, not again.
Zadox will be going a little deep here because Sim is over the wall, but is taking a little bit to get to Radar. Is now finally here. Is going to leap strike over to the ward. Zadox thought he was out, but he goes in and he goes out.
Oh my god!
Holy crap!
No!
This guy's nuts! Radar's the next target, and the dunk is available for Jexor. Now, Ralik is the one who's going to get bear down on. They're going to try to turn it around on a Sim. Dunk him again! Double kill for Jexor. Now Zadox in a 1v1.
Oh, wow.
Too much longer. A max range hook, and it's a shutdown for Ralik.
Sword Blue may have just saved that entire situation right there. That timing on the back and being able to roam up in time, that was looking disastrous, right? That would have been a Zadox 2-0 at that point, taking out Rallic as well. So heads up play by Fisher to rotate in, but man, Zadox is putting on a clinic right now. What an outplay. The Lee Syndrome is there. The Insect was clean if you so wish, because it didn't even feel like it. Jex were able to pick up 2 in the back pocket. This is going to get out of hand very quickly. This top side, I said it again, and I'll say it one more time, I think is out of control, and I think it's fully in Weaver's direction. Outside of Goku, still waiting for their first kill.
Yeah, I mean, good. It's you take the good with the bad, right? The good is that Rallic gets 2 kills, gets a shutdown as well. The bad is that Jexor gets 2 kills himself. Zadox gets a pair of assists on top of it too. It's looking pretty bad, even though the gold is fairly even. Again, as long as Fisher can just continue to hang on, let their carries scale up, they will be in a good spot. They just need to make sure that things don't get too out of control, as Zadox is going to make it a pay on a Rallic, but misses a Q, which honestly I was surprised about.
It's one of those moments where you're like, oh, wow, I thought you would have hit that. You know, you've been hitting
I thought
him
he was
all
a
night
god.
long. Yeah, he is, but sometimes gods can bleed, especially when they're lazy and may have had too much to eat. You know, 3 kills can do that to you.
Isn't that
Goku,
just Dionysus? Dionysus, sorry, Dionysus.
yeah.
Call him by
Listen,
his
don't
legal
ask
name.
casters for pronunciations here.
Well, I mean,
tried our
listen,
hardest with
I
it.
should know that because I'm Greek.
Taking a look at things, though, I think a huge part of why Weaver was so successful in Game 1 as well is Goku was allowed to actually roam out and accompany Zadox in certain situations, right? That LeBlanc started to show a lot of power behind. Goku hasn't actually been able to do that. So for this moment, I love the fact that you pointed out Rallic being able to keep in check, has 2 kills of their own, and all of a sudden the Ahri is not as free any longer to be as mobile as they would like to be.
Yeah, and, you know, you get the first part of the queue out, but Rallic has been doing a good job to sidestep, has those upgraded boots, which means that, you know, Ahri can't really put down enough damage to force Rallic out of lane, so the lane really stops when Rallic is the one who wants it to, because you just can't let this Tristana push alone.
Tristana will be mowing down those turrets, and I mean, Radar now coming to the top side, trying to help Simpson out, clear out this wave, and maybe allow Simpson to actually roam down for the strike. I'm not sure what they're looking for.
Well, it's at least to just get that wave in. They don't want it frozen on. They know no teleports available for either top laner, so they should be okay. Zadox has been spotted out. Definitely wants to try to do something here to DMK. DMK is a little late on the movement, but Zadox missing another Q. All of a sudden, this guy's gone ice cold.
Yeah, this is the dangerous part of the game, right? If that Q lands, it's over. If it doesn't, then you're safe. But not only that, the dragon should be taken very cleanly, and that's the main reason you're here. I was actually very surprised that DMK opted. You saw the jungler on that ward in the pit. I'm surprised you actually opted to stay up and try and get a bit more CS.
Yeah, I am too. But listen, well, never mind. The play's getting made down here as Mother Goose trying to get away, but that Bio Arcane Barrage from a long ways away. Living Artillery didn't land. Teleport coming in to Sendy looking for the turn. Goku comes in, hits a huge charm, and is able to get Weaver another kill. See if Zadox wants to go in. It'd be a little crazy here.
And that was Sword Blue and DMK trying to make a play because Zadox wasn't going to be there. It's going to continue as they're corralled right now.
I'm kind of surprised they don't go for a little bit more, but it is the 2 strongest members of Fisher. You know, up on the top side, this means that Radar is able to get some grubs for himself, which will be the first grubs of the game that Fisher's actually able to take.
And that evens it out. Zadox might be caught.
Yeah, Zadox thinks that everything's
Oh,
okay,
no! Oh,
but he
no!
gets Tristana ulted away. Rallic's still trying to chase him down, but he's not going to be able to. A miscue there from Fisher.
Yo, honor the Tristana. Honor Rallic right there, Zadox. That was Rallic all day long. If that hook had landed, Zadox was 100% dead. Oh, that
He is
feels
100%
bad. Now it's gonna,
alive.
yeah, look at this. Now they're gonna come back bot.
Let's see if they're able to make the play here. They're going to land the hook right onto Zadox, but well protected because of the Braum shield. But DMK forcing them off, relatively untouched as well. We are seeing Ahri burn Flash in the mid lane here, so it's a pretty big summoner down, especially while the ult's still down.
Yep, and big part of this is Fisher are actually pining for opportunities of their own. Both teams are actually fishing for opportunities, no pun intended, to get those kills. Both teams actually have very scalable compositions that work off of those bloody fights. It's just no one's really allowing that to happen. And that's where we see that mechanical play that we saw in game number 1, but this time for both sides, right? Fisher are now looking much stronger and calculating, getting away from a lot of these dangerous positions. Weaver also the same, getting out of dire straits without losing too many members. The fact that we only have 10 kills at this current moment should surprise quite a few people for how many attempts there have been.
Yeah, you just take a look at the breakdown by lane here. I mean, it's 1,400 up top. It's 2,000 in the jungle. That's all in the favor of Weaver, but they're only up 2,500. So Fisher has done a pretty good job in the mid lane, especially to kind of stem that bleeding. I am surprised the DMK is not as ahead as it really appears.
And I think that might curve due to the fact that, you know, there has been other pressure down there. And I mean, I say that, but now Zadok's roaming up to the side. Oh, Sim, you're not in for a good time. Yeah,
Sim is going to be in for a bad time here. See what happens. Counter-Strike is available. Doesn't stun anybody. Goku dropping the ultimate coming through. They just land damn near everything on him. And they bully this man in taking him out.
And this is one of the most optimal scenarios. Weaver, again, drawing Fisher wherever they want to. Take a look at where Fisher are. They aren't really getting anything on the rest of the map. The most they're going to get is a blue buff and maybe some plates, but they actually might not even get that.
Yeah, Sword Blue might be the one who gets got. Knockup comes down, and so come the roots. Mother Goose will be rooted up, forcing the flash out of Sendy, and now Mother Goose is going to be the target, and they're going to get blown up. That's DMK who's able to pick that one up.
I mean, it's a small price to pay. You got first brick in the top lane. You're more than okay with the extra gold. There's nothing else they could really take. You did lose a tower. I call that a win out on Weaver's side, considering now you enable this Jexor to kind of roam out, and you even get back to try and get the enemy jungler. This is big.
Yeah, that Enchanted Crystal Arrow will certainly slow up Radar, and he's got to try to double back to get on to Sendy, and that means Radar is doomed.
Yeah, this is... Fisher, I don't want to say they're in desperation mode right now, but it does feel like they're getting forced into trying to salvage certain plays when they don't really have to be. We talked about it, right? Dragon Main Kim, just take a little bit more time. Scale up, get a few more items. Justana is looking quite strong. However, you might get pinched here. The kick over the wall.
Ward hop back over. Rallick in so much trouble. Will hop over.
Oh my god!
The Q lands the flash away. Winter's bite
Do it
not
to
there.
him.
Can you land one more
okay.
Q? DMK is here, but is not going to be able to chew through this Braum shield quite
Oh
yet.
my
Sword
god!
Blue, half HP. Sword Blue's
kill!
dead. Goku from the backside is
my
there.
god!
Wiping out Fisher's bot lane.
Call him John Wick or whatever you want to. It's a squadron of assassins to roam down here. Three deaths with no one on Weaver's side. We said it, right? You called it out. You called me out. I didn't believe in Weaver. They did in game 1. They accelerated the pace of the game to an unbreakable pace. And Weaver feel like they're doing it all off the back this time of Zadok's clean and simple.
Yeah, Zadok's has just played a wonderful game, honestly. One of the better Lee Sin games that I have seen at this level. And
Oh my god.
well, you know, we know he's going to die, so
Yeah.
you're so right about Fisher feeling like they were pressured to make some plays, because before that fight in the bot lane even broke out, they were desperate to try to get something in a scenario where they didn't need to be. They could just allow themselves to scale, as you mentioned, and they haven't done that, and then they get caught out after making a bad play. It gets them even further and further behind. They just keep trying to climb up the mountain, but keep falling down.
They're grabbing their own rocks along the way. Every single one of them is a loose rubble piece, and I mean, this is going to happen again, right? 3 filtering into what could be a
on a
dire
flank.
straight.
Goku's on a flank. DMK is the target. DMK has to flash away. Charm's coming out. They're going to get on top of Radar. Now back onto DMK. Zadox is doing his thing, able to pick up a kill. Mother Goose taking a lot of damage. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits Rallick, and they're going to take him out too. They get 4 kills, no deaths, and a dragon for Weaver.
We're not on the freeway anymore. Weaver hit the Autobahn and just, there is no speed limit right now. There is 0 speed limit to what they are doing. I am impressed, stunned, concussed, frozen in place. They are doing so well, and their coordination is on point. They're entering into a state of what I like to call flow. Everything that they decide to do, they say, cool, let's go for it. There is no hesitation. There is no should we do it or shouldn't we do it. It is, we know we can do it, so we will. And Fisher are left reeling.
Yeah, every play is just working, and it just seems like Fisher has no answer. And you can scale into infinity in this game, and I don't know if they'll get there. I mean, I don't think they're going to get the opportunity, because Weaver has done a really good job. You mentioned it in game 1 of closing out the game quickly. They need to do the same here because there's still that scaling threat over on Fisher. So 17 and a half minutes in, I can't believe we're talking about closing out the game, but you're on Soul Point. Jigsaw is just causing a problem for Rowell. Like, you can't side lane against the guy. He's 5-1 with a Trinity Force and a Deadman's.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about this because this is going to happen again. Radar is not going to enjoy this fact, but I mean, this is just that kill. Jextor has had a
Radar.
Okay, never mind. No,
hold on. Goku is going in, going out, getting a kill, flashing away, and lives to tell the tale. Pulls off a heist.
Oh,
the level of 100 Thieves.
All right, I didn't think anything was crazy was going to happen. It did, and now Goku's
more crazy things are happening. Wait a minute. Okay. No. I just want to hype him up a little bit, to be quite honest.
I know, because we've been talking only about Zadox to certain players. Everyone on Weaver is doing their job, right? If it's not Goku or Zadox, it's Jexor running pressure in a solo lane, right? You have to expend maybe 1 or 2 players. Ralik, who was doing quite well in the early game, had 2 kills with him, hasn't been able to do anything with it. Jexor has kept them down now. The allocation from Weaver is exceptional because they can pull off a 3-1-1 with their ADC in mid lane alone.
Yeah, and Sendy is just going to be able to take this out of here. Come the roots. Go, triple knockoff.
Oh,
there's a chance to make a play here. Do they have enough damage? DMK can't get in there. He's slowed, trying to hit from downtown, but now rallying from the side. He's going to be able to blow somebody up and get 1. Looking for Mother Goose for 2. Meanwhile, backside, Zadox kicks away DMK, but doesn't kill him. Does manage to take out the Nautilus. More fighting on the backside. It's going to be Jax able to pick up Mother Goose. And now Sendy will be able to walk away. Nobody able to take him out, but this means that Darius was allowed to just chill out in the bot lane.
They were consolation prizes for those 2 kills, or the 3 that you expected, and possibly Radar lost as well. Yeah, that was freedom. Freedom for Sendy. Sendy sends Radar into oblivion, and they get everything, right? 3 kills. No, that's great. No, Ralik.
Oh, hold on. Ralik jumping in onto Sendy. You need to pick this kill up. You're up 2 levels. It looked a little testy, but he got the job done.
Yep. These are little bits and pieces that I applaud Fisher for grabbing, right? These are kills that you desperately needed, and yes, to me, Weaver is still ahead. They still have the towers. They're opening up the base. A couple kills here and there is not going to make a big difference. For Fisher, this is a breath of fresh air. You just lock down a couple shutdowns. You knock down one of the big players, Sendy, Goku, Zadox. You got that on primary targets. This is great. This is step 1 of about 17 to 20 that you have to hit, but at least you took that step.
Yeah, the Orbital 17-step program.
Well, when you're down about 10K, yeah, I call that a 17-step program.
The greatest journeys start with a single step. We'll see if Fisher is able to take a second step here, because they are very, very far behind. But still in it. The game is not over yet. And again, we talk about their impressive scaling. It's just a matter of making sure that Weber doesn't take the Baron. I think they might be able to fight through this Mountain Drake, to be quite honest with you, with the carries that they have.
So, to their point, and I do agree, the scaling is starting to come in here. We are hitting that 20-minute mark. Some kills went over, and Fisher, you have the opportunity. Also, if Mother Goose keeps doing this, and you feed a little extra 200 in, it's pretty dang good.
Yeah, gonna burn that ultimate on Mother Goose. Rally gonna get over the wall. They're gonna dump everything they got into this guy, and they will be able to take him out. It's gonna be a kill for DMK. No response from Weaver here.
Well, on the top side, there was a tower. So that was a bad play of my Mother Goose. Yes, you wanted to get vision down, but you didn't respect it. Bot side, we're still getting a fight, though.
Yeah, the fight is breaking out. Roots are coming out. Charm onto Radar. Radar's going to get onto Zadox. Zadox is going to be the target, but that means the carries can just free hit on the key targets. Double kill. There's one for Goku. There's one for your Ash as well, as Weaver just beat up the Falcons.
We didn't even want to show it to you. I forced our observer to watch that go down, and I feel terrible for doing so. We were just talking up that Fisher were starting to get some kills. It's opportunities, right? Weaver overextended. They gave some over, but Weaver just rip us back to reality and say, don't drop gravity just yet. This is what's happening on the map. We are strong. We are powerful. We have the gold in our pocket to take in optimal fights and still look good. You said that Fisher could fight through maybe a dragon or a soul. I don't think so at that point. Maybe there was a time, but with this healthy amount of gold, with the assassination power that Weaver have, Ralik, DMK do not have the safety measures in place to stay alive in these team fights.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with Sword Blues going in, Radar's going in, and that just means there's no protection. I mean, Ralik's pathing there. You target Zadox, but you just let the carries free hit on you. They've got, they're CC, the Ash Ultimate. They've got the Charm from Ari as well. I mean, if you're not going to go cleanse, you need to be able to know where those carries are to be able to sidestep. And you know, I don't think this is a part of the 17-step program. They've taken the one step forward. They've gone 4 steps back. And
well, not so much take steps back. It's more like shoved down the stairs, unfortunately. Like,
this is true. They have been shoved down the stairs. Honestly, it looks like Fisher needs life alert right now.
Yeah, this is Weaver now. Like, they can take whatever they want, right? And I think this is an appropriate answer. Go for Baron. You don't care about this bottom lane. It's whatever. You need the Baron to actually cruise in and take the actual base and break open that last inhibitor, some of the rest. You're okay giving up these towers because all it means is like, oh, you know, they're somewhere where we know they're at. They're not at base, which we can now start pressuring. Yes, this is an extra, I want to say, about 600, I want to say 700 gold in some pockets here. It's not bad. It's not, I think unless we were to decide to like walk in one by one, like I say again, gladiator style, it's not really going to make that big of a difference.
Well, Fisher can hang on and not give up the Nexus turrets or the Nexus. This is pretty okay for them. They will.
Yeah,
no,
just don't
seriously.
lose the game for him.
They are going to
boy,
engage, though. See if Sword Blue's going to do more. Knockup coming through. Darius the target flashes away. Looking to get in more is this Jax, but he just gets blown up.
Oh, the arrow!
Look at who gets
again!
targeted. Ralik gets hit with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They're on top of him. He's very low. DMK trying to live, but he gets kicked to the side.
Oh my
and they
God.
wipe out the Falcons. Triple kill for Jexors. And that is it. That will do it. Weaver State comes in, smacks up the Falcons a little bit, and they take a dominating series, 2-0. They clinch first place. That means they won't have to see pace in the playoffs for some time. That's a team that handed them their only game loss on the season.
48 minutes. 48 minutes is the grand total of time it took for Weaver to take down Fisher. I timed it. I don't normally do this. If it goes over an hour, that's whatever. Under 50 minutes, Weaver put on a clinic. And again, I do not sit here and say Fisher played horribly or anything like that. This is small mistakes that occurred at the beginning that excellent teams take advantage of and will punish you forever for. That is what I think it happened. Game 1, it was the entire team for Weaver. Game 2, I think Zadox popped off and started to spread the wealth a little bit there. So huge props to Weaver and Fisher just weren't allowed to keep up.
Yeah, it was just utter domination. There's just not much more that you can say other than a really fantastic series out of Weaver. I mean, this is a roster out of the side of Fisher that we've seen win, right? This is a combination of players that have won games at this level. They are all excellent, but Weaver were just the better team on this day. Congratulations to them. They made it look easy. They earned that first place, and I can't wait to see what they do in the playoffs. We're going to take a very short break. We're going to hopefully get an interview from one of the members of Weaver, but we will see. And when we return, hopefully we'll have that interview for you. Don't go anywhere.
Cleanse saves lives.
Welcome back, everybody, to ECAC Week 7, the final week of the regular season. We just saw a fantastic match between Weber and Fisher Falcons. It was fantastic for Weber, I should say. It was absolute drubbing. They really showed up. And we do have an interview with the AD carry from Weber, Sendy. Sendy, how are you doing? Hope things are well. Congratulations on your win.
Absolutely, doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. Yeah, pretty profound win, I'd say.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, you guys, this program seemed to have the number of Fisher Lane, right? Won a 3-2 series in the semifinals of fall 2023, getting this win in the regular season. How is it when you know that you're locked for playoffs and you have to go play this last game of the season, but it's a fight for first place? What goes through the mindset, right? Are you like, hey, we're really gunning to win this game, even though we're already locked for playoffs? Or is it like, we're going to play them, we're going to play our best, but if we win, we win, and if we don't, we don't?
Honestly, healthy mix of both. I think in particular, game one, we were very focused as a whole. But I will admit that was one of our sports first games on Braum in a very long time. So I think we were a little confident enough after game one where we were being a little more silly in game two.
I mean, we could see it, and let's be honest. There was a moment in game one that scared the ever-living pants off of me. There was a little bit of messing around in the enemy jungle that got Zadox killed when he didn't win the 50-50 smite.
Yep.
What were the comms for that? What was there? Was there surprise? Was there fear? What was going on?
Yeah,
there?
just for clarification, are you referring to the level 1, level 2?
Yes.
Yeah. It was actually kind of funny because everything was really smooth. I was communicating with my support bot lane just about, the 2v2, like play this minion, yada, yada, yada. And then I just hear Gunnar go, oh, wait, he's right here. He started red. And I was like, uh-oh. And he's like, I think I'm dead. I was like, yeah, is what it is. And then he led them on a wild goose chase, which ended up being pretty good for top lane. So it wasn't the end of the world.
It was one of those moments that we're like, we should. I'm not sure if this is going to impact mental, but you guys really bounced back, and what you guys showed us is this concise ability to understand when you're ahead and then just power through. And even in game two, from anyone else's standpoint, you would have been even throughout the entire game up till about 13, 14 minutes, and then you guys broke away. Did you guys feel completely in control? As you said, you were feeling a little bit more frisky in that game too. What was that idea? Because it felt like there was a moment it just hit, and you guys just took off 80 miles an hour.
I think it honestly was just the point where we had certain items and we started walking around as a team, because I think particularly with our 4 versus their 4, even though Maokai and Nautilus can generally create a lot of space, I think when you're playing versus like 3-4 different champions that can heavily pressure 2 different AD carries, it's really hard to effectively do anything. So we just look to force fights around those timers. And obviously when they're playing double carries, keeping track of flash timers is a big one. And that was part of it, I think.
Is certainly something that is really important. Got to make sure that you're able to make the plays on good timers. I want to pull your attention away from today's game and actually talk about what you guys have been doing in the Western Conference this year for C-Law. I mean, you guys have done pretty well for yourselves, managed to make it into the playoffs, a strong 5-2 record in a group that was really, really tight. And your first playoff match is going to be against the University of Alberta. They came out of that UCI group. They're 6-1. How you feeling going into that match? What are your expectations for this playoff run? You making it to the C-Law Championship or what?
Oh yeah, 100% making it to C-Law Championship. No doubt in my mind there.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
To get a little more specific though, Alberta, I'm not concerned about at all. On a different week, maybe. I think our group was pretty bloody, as you pointed out. It was one win or one loss in a series was the difference between like 1st seed and 4th seed, pretty much. And I think we were really shaky during the regular season of C-LOL, but we ironed out some kinks and we figured out what works really well for us. And I think as long as we don't deviate from that or do anything silly, we are going to surprise people in the West playoffs.
Well, I will certainly be having my eye out for that, as trying to put all my eyeballs on the C-Law playoffs.
Absolutely.
So good luck for those. Sendy, thank you very much for being here, having this interview with us. Congratulations once again on your victory.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, everybody, that will do it for us here tonight. However, we do have a very important event occurring this Sunday, Esports UNI. This is a stream that'll be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. It is a Valorant Female Non-Binary CECC event. It's a really important event. We'd like to see everybody getting out there, supporting our marginalized genders in the space, and also watching some really good Valorant. Valorant's a really fun game to watch, even though I don't really play it as much. I've been having the itch lately, though. So please
We'll
go
learn
check
together.
that out. Yeah, please. No, I'm terrible. But please go check out players that'll be much better than me at this game. 1 p.m. Eastern. That will be this Sunday night. But that will be it for us here this evening. So for myself, my co-caster Orbital, our guest Sendy with the interview, Colton, Professor Layton, Samantha Price behind the glass. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. We hope to see you on Sunday for that Valorant event. See you soon.